Thank you to Softr for sponsoring this video. Every AI app builder can build you a website. They can't all build a portal for businesses that is easy to use, easy to set up, and that works really well every time. The moment you need logins, user roles, gated pages, or a live data, things can get really tricky. Today, I'm comparing every major AI app builder for one specific job, building a real working client portal. I'm going to start with Lovable, but you're going to want to watch the entire video because each of these tools has their own strengths and weaknesses, and I'm going to give you my verdict for each one. So the first one here at Lovable, this is a conversational AI app builder. Is one of the first AI app builders on the market, and it's great for building the UI of a portal fast. It has natural language processing on the left side, so you can just use AI. It'll use its LLM capability to generate UIs, websites, apps on the right side. It does have a backend, user authentication, and database tables. But basically, it's fully customizable, meaning you have to prompt it to set up user roles, to set up gated pages. And that's where especially business users who are less technical are going to more likely have trouble with something like Lovable than other tools later on in this video that I'm going to talk about, just because it doesn't have this like built-in auth and role system specifically for portals. It also doesn't have data source connections like Airtable and Google Sheets, so that's a huge one. And you're going to be wiring up your own backend, like I mentioned before, with Lovable Cloud. So it can be really good for mocking up what a portal might look like with the UI UX, but it's not going to be the best choice for businesses to create portals compared to some other tools later on in the roundup. Next, I'm going to talk about Bolt. Bolt was, along with Lovable, one of the first AI app builders. It's an AI full stack app builder. It runs code in browser. Something cool is you can build with your own design system inside of Bolt. It can generate all flows and database logic. It's full stack. So similar to Lovable, you can build a real portal, but also similar to Lovable, you're building everything from scratch every time. It doesn't have pre-built auth and gated flows, for example, or user roles set up pre-built. It doesn't have native integration with existing data sources like Airtable and Google Sheets. So the complexity can ramp up quickly and the pricing can get expensive for iterative work with the credit system. The verdict is that it's similar to Lovable, you're hand building what other tools give you out of the box that I'm going to talk about later on. The next one I'm going to talk about is custom coding your own business portal. So what this means is you would use something like Codex or Claude Code and custom build it and ask the agents to build it for you. The strengths of this option is that you have total control. You can build the exact auth system that you want, the permissions models, the data architecture that you need. However, you would need to connect to something like Supabase or Neon for that auth and user authentication. So you're kind of going a step further in complexity. So if you want complete control and you're technical, this is a really great option. There's no platform constraints. There's no like specific pricing tiers using this other than the subscription that you might have on OpenAI and Anthropic. Literally anything is possible because you are writing the code yourself, or the agents are writing the code. It's all going to be on your local system, on your GitHub. You're building this custom. And because it's AI agents, it does make it more accessible for someone to do than if you in the past before AI agents, before these tools. So the weaknesses of this technique or this way of doing it is that you're still building everything, as I mentioned, off the database schema, the role logic, deployment, hosting. There's no built-in UI components or portal templates. You're designing from zero, from scratch. You're going to have to be willing to debug, to get a little technical. Maintenance and updates are going to be on you. So this is going to be slower to get to a working version 1 than a dedicated portal build. Using something like Codex or Claude Code is the most powerful and flexible option, but it's also the most work. If you have very unique and specific portal requirements that you need something custom built, then I would go with something like this. If you're really technical and just really like getting into the weeds and having full control, then this would also be the best option. But if you just need a portal that works and you don't want to deal with all the complexity, then this would not be the right choice for you. So finally, we're going to talk about the winner, Softr. While this is today's sponsor, I do genuinely think this is the best portal builder of these options, and I would genuinely recommend it to you or any of my friends or anyone running a business. If you want a client portal, Softr is a really amazing option that you should definitely check out. So I'm not just saying this because it's sponsored. I was excited that they came to me as a sponsor so I could share this with you. So So let me talk about why I think that is the case. So what I think Softr does a really great job at is combining AI and using AI to build, but also having their own components integrated into it. So you're not starting from scratch. And I'm going to show you what I mean inside of Softr in a second so that you can see what I mean in terms of like the role assigning, the database and everything. Something that's really nice is it has 14 direct integrations and a REST API for data. So you are not locked into only using the Softr database platform. You can also use Airtable, Google Sheets, and as I mentioned, 14 direct integrations. It's purpose built for portals. So user roles, gated pages, client logins are all out of the box. You have native sync with Airtable. A lot of people use Airtable. So if you want to build a business portal on top of Airtable, this is a great option. You also have native sync with Notion, HubSpot, and Supabase. And as I mentioned, 14 data sources or the Softr database itself, which is great if you're just starting on Softr. So literally in minutes, you can launch your own client portal without having to deal with any custom code. There are some weaknesses. You don't have full design customization. So you are going to be using the components and elements that Softr has. For the most part, they do have the ability to custom design elements, but for the most part, you have less design customization. So if that's really important to you, then that would be a drawback. But the overall verdict is it is the one tool of all the options that is purpose-built for business portals, and it really shows in the feature set that they have. So signing in really quickly to Softr, I just want to show you what I mean here. On the top, these are the components, and this is what I mean is it's kind of a combination between an AI tool and drag and drop, because you can basically see all these elements and you can customize them like a no-code tool, but you can also use AI to build out the portal and tell AI what you want. The data, this is what I mean by the data integrations. There's 14 direct data integrations here, plus a REST API. So you can build on top of just about any type of data source that you would want. And then user groups, user roles, authentication, all of this is built in out of the box, which makes it really great for our business portals. There's also workflows. Check out our other video on Softr to learn more about how workflows are set up, but this gives you some powerful logic functionality on top of the interface, and it's definitely worth digging into more, but this is really powerful and definitely worth checking out. Thanks for watching this video. Click the link in the description to go to Softr and try it out for yourself. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more free content like this. I'm trying to release as much AI content as I can because things are changing really quickly. So if you subscribe to our channel and watch our videos, you're going to stay up to date. And leave a comment below to let me know what you think of Softr, if you think this is something you could see yourself using in your own business use cases. And if there's anything else you want me to cover in the future, just let me know. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.